flesh. And that's not the inward vision that I'm talking about. But a man's vision is, first of all, knowing who he is. That unction. His unction tells him, this is what I desire. Now, these are, a lot of people say mostly older men. They're more relaxed, you know, and they're not trying to run after everything. Like they say these little boys, even when they're 30, sometimes they can be little boys. Even when they're 60, they can be little boys. But when they're ready to settle, see, anything chaotic is loose and free. And you can't discern until you're settled. And some of you can get settled at a young age to be able to discern the right woman for you. You know what you want is the bottom line. You know what's going to make you happy even when things are going wrong. Amen? And so you look for that person who's going to touch you. That person that moves you. Be it not just sexual, but be it sexual. Being in the area of what do you call it? Just being around each other. Having fun with each other, relationship-wise. A person who knows how to handle an argument. How does this person act under pressure? These are the things you look for in a relationship, because you can have, again, some good people who are good on the outside, but they're not good on the inside. There are some people that can stay good for a certain amount of time, but you give them a couple of more days and they're not good anymore, and you wonder what happened to the big wedding that you had and all this excitement and emotions that was in the air, and how he loved you and couldn't wait to marry you, and how some of you spend so much money and he was willing to pay for this, and you got a nice ring, but now you're married. Now you're married. And you'll notice that the candle lights are not coming anymore, and the, you know, little feet washing and rubbing. What happened? And she's not cooking, and I know some of y'all seeing that drama of her coming with that hairstyle, and I think some women look cute with the little hairstyle. I think that's cute. Like now, I don't have any makeup on, and a lot of times I say, okay, this is me. You know, and you know, I've been eating a lot. I made some red beans and rice with shrimp today that was so good. I had 3 plates. Now, I know I ain't turn them plates away, but I'm cool, because my mister will say, okay, Renee, you know, I look good for myself. I don't want to be a huge woman. For me. That's me. That's my preference. So I know when it's time for me to settle down. But I'm mindful also of my age. I ain't trying to be some little old skinny woman either. One myself, and you ask what's right in the middle, because some of us, or some people, I can't say I am, but some people are just big boned. But what I'm saying is, you just got to be happy with yourself. However, you also got to make him happy. You got to become somewhat of what he desires. Not pushing you out of who you want to be, because who you want to be is important. If you try to become only what he desires you to be, then you're not real, and you're fake. But when you are who you are, and you can implement some of the things he wants you to be, which if he's asking you to be something, it shouldn't be outside your nature, because he can't remold your character. Who you are is your character. Who you want to be should have already been worked on. So your character is there. What he's trying to get you to be is someone, I call it just little perks around, little extras. You know, I want you to cook sometime. But that's not cooking. It's not a part of your character. I like to cook because I go to culinary art school. You know, I mean, that's what I wanted to be, so that's what I went after. But it's not who I am. That's not me. That's something I like to do. That's a perk. You know, I love to play the saxophone. I love to play the keyboard. But that's not who I am. I don't have a career in those things. And, you know, when they told me about cooking, I didn't want to go open a restaurant. I ain't trying to work in nobody else's restaurant and cook for nobody, honestly. I just like getting in the kitchen sometime and mixing some stuff together. And when I originally wanted to learn to cook, I wanted to do it for my husband and my children, because I knew the importance of kids eating. I did. I wanted a husband that can come home and say, my wife can cook. I wanted children that can come home and say, my mama can cook. I just wanted to do the things that women are supposed to do. That's what I wanted. I wanted to sew. I was always been old school. But those are things that I like. That's who I am. I'm a book writer. My passion is writing books. That's why you see me on the internet a lot. And I feel like I love it so much to where I want you to receive it, even the ones that can't afford it. That's why I do what I do on the internet. You know, a lot of people say, well, you're not making money on it. Well, but I'm doing what I want to do. See, when everything is based around money, that's not who I am either. That's what I have to do to get what I want. I want money, so I do something that's going to make money. But when you have a passion for something, you don't really have to receive nothing back to do it. It's something you enjoy doing it. If you don't get a penny for it, if no one else recognizes it, you are doing what you want to do. So that's finding who you are. Are you where you want? Are you doing what you want to do? And then, after you find out who you are, you can now find out who somebody else is and what they enjoy. Now, you giving them what they desire or becoming who they want would not contradict who you are. Because I should still be able to write books and yet cook him some food too, because that's what he wants. You know, he's not telling me, okay, Renee, I want you to become this. Well, if it's not going to hinder me writing books, then I can become who he wants me to be. He wants me to become an insurance agent. Well, I'm already an insurance agent, so we would be on one accord. But just say he wants me to play basketball. I can't get out there and play no basketball, so he's in trouble. He got the wrong sister. If he wants somebody to play basketball, we probably have to really work at that one. And I guarantee you, he's going to be the one changing. Because I ain't trying to get out there and shoot no hoops for the Lakers. That's just not my style. You know, you got some females out there that want to be Lakers basketball player, but that would never, that don't work with a diva because well, let me say this, let me cut that off, not a diva. Hold on, talking to church folks. I think about diva because I know they give us nicknames, but I understand that a diva is not what you think it is. We all have our definition of a diva, and I can't get in there. But when I say diva, I'm really talking about somebody who's very petite, in control of herself, and lovable. That's what I look like, a diva. A real, just real, that kind of person, you know, that's what they call a diva. But yet she's in control, which means she's not taking everything. So, when I say that, there's no way I can get out there on the basketball court with my nails on when they're on and try to shoot some basketball. Amen? Ain't no way in the world, me with my feminine self gonna get out there. Now, I used to play in school. However, my lifestyle done changed. I cannot get out there. Every now and then I might shoot a hoop. But you're not going to see me getting sweaty, running up and down no court, trying to get a ball in the hole. That's just not me. That's not my job. And he should understand that I'm not that kind of female. Before he married me, we did not get out there on the court playing no basketball. I wasn't trying to be fake and go out there with him and play no basketball. Therefore, when we get married, he shouldn't expect for me to do it either. Don't do anything while you're dating that you're not going to do when you get married. That's the bottom line to it. I'm just mothering y'all. That's all. I'm just trying to give you a little information. It won't work. So, understanding your spouse. Now, some of you, again, you get into fornication and you don't know them. Some of y'all get married for other reasons. But a lot of the teaching is not there. A lot of times you're not taught. And so you get out there and you marry just because. I'm married because the sex is good. I'm married because he can go all night long. But you don't understand that in some situations, you don't want to have sex often. When you get a bonding with a person, you know, intimacy is good. But it's not like it was when you first met. Now, I'm not speaking no bad on the person. But when you first met that person, it was a newness there. So everything was exciting. Understand me. There was a newness in a relationship. So everything was exciting. Even the intimacy. But when the newness wear off, when you really love somebody, the passion is going to be there. There's a desire that's still going to be present because of love. But if you're just with each other and you ain't been with a man in years, or you know, if he ain't had a woman that can cook for years and you done cooked them and in the bedroom and then you're in the bedroom and he think about, oh man, she can cook. He excited because she can cook. He's good because you can cook. He's trying to make you happy because he want to keep you because he ain't used to the woman that can cook. so this man ain't really enjoying your sex. He thinking about your cooking. He's stroking that rib that you made for him the other night. Amen. And so a lot of times we fall in love for reasons. If it's love, it's a bond. Whatever the motivation is, the fact is that you're together. And if it's love, then love gonna understand that we're not having sex as often as we used to. They're gonna understand that. It's not gonna be a problem. Now, it's a problem when you're starving them. See, a man knows, or he should knows, when his female is getting sick. And a female should know when her male is sick. Amen. Know when they're sick. There's a reason why we've gone past the time that you know when your husband desire or your wife desire, and you haven't met that desire. You should start seeing it on his face, feeling it in the tension in the atmosphere, and whether or not you care really shows your interest still in your spouse. And love is gonna keep you moving. Now there are some people, they just get old. It's not that they don't love their spouse. The body is different. You know, I pray with my body all the time. And Lord, if you see fit to give me a husband, then make sure that my body's up to par and make sure his body's up to par. You got to make sure that you keep it at the same level at all times. Keep it at the same level. This is still on relationship. Now, this is just half of it. Keeping each other happy. It's important. Because when you're not happy, again, the emotion starts hitting the children. And the children wonder why you're frustrated. A lot of times you're mad at daddy, you're mad at mama. These are emotion kids that parents go through. Sometimes it's not about you. You're not the issue. And then there's sometimes children that you are the issue. There's sometimes when, you know, you're just, as they say, being a teenager. And it goes back to we've taken so much, or even that day, we've gone through so much that we don't even feel like putting up with your attitude. We don't even want to go through your learning because you're growing, you're being developed. So please try to develop as fast, go through that stage as quickly as possible because we don't want to put up with it. We don't want to deal with your attitudes and your little smart comments. Understand me? That's why that lady shot at your kids out of town. I know it's not a good thing to say. But, and I ain't telling nobody to go shoot the kids, but understand, emotionally, we get wrapped up in our heads to where some parents are at the point because they're so wounded by the children, especially when you try to give them everything. And children that want to go off with their father, especially when the mother's mad at the father and he done got somebody else, these things emotionally triggers a parent to do something like that woman did to her children. The one that came and she shot her children. You know, things wrapped up already in your mind, emotions, life. You know, you can look at a perfectly fine person and yet they click. And you not understand because the neighbors don't even notice. It's the emotions, things that they're going through. I was watching a movie the other day and the same thing happened. I'm watching a movie and this woman, she looked like the perfect mother. And she goes, in the middle of the night, she go look at her son. And she had two girls, for some reason, I don't know why they lived with each other, but they was in a different house. And one was young, but she was staying with her sister. And the woman got in the car, rode over to her ex-husband's house. Somehow got in his house, I don't know if she had a key or what. Went upstairs and shot them both because she was dealing with the emotions of life. Her hurt. She could not stabilize herself to receive the change that happened in her life. There was a change. She probably was laying in that bed probably a year ago, and she could not move on. So her hurt began to play. Her emotions began to play with her mind and her heart. Amen. And so now she's reacting out of her emotions. And some are a little deadlier than others. There's some of us, we just fuss and cuss all day. That's how some mothers are. They just fuss and cuss all day. Children, that doesn't mean that your mother don't love you. She still loves you. It's just that she's frustrated. There are some mothers that can't hold you like she wants because she's afraid she's done so much to you. Come on. There are some mothers that we just cannot be who you want us to be because we are parents. We can't give you everything. So we got to understand also there are times you're going to be angry because you expect us to be just like we expect our husbands to do some things. It frustrates us when our husband can't help with the bills, if not take care of all of them. It frustrates us sometimes when we don't see the involvement of daddy with their children. It frustrates us. Just like it frustrates children not to get what they think they should have. And at times, parents, we can't give it to them because it's not always expedient for them. It's not always good for them to receive what they want when they want it. We have to sometimes say, no, this is not the season. This is not going to happen. You will not get it, even if somebody give it to you. Because I have an issue with people going out trying to give your kids something after you said, no, they can't have it. That shows them that whenever I want, now understand, this is the molding stage, especially the teenage stage. This is the stage they're being molded. So when they desire something, they're learning their atmosphere. And you don't want them to have it because you already have a vision of what path you're taking them down. But here comes somebody else. So what the children does, they gravitate to that person who's steady trying to give them everything they want. We're teaching the children just like we taught them when they were babies. When we saw our children, our babies, walk over to the stove, we say, no, hot. Now can you imagine somebody bringing that child a stove anyway? We're molding them. We're teaching them that, no, this is not good right now. It's not always that it's not good, because you want that child to one day grow up and be able to stand by a stove, but not at that time. I don't want you to stand by the stove now. I don't want you to touch the stove now. So when they get older, they're going to know that you can go to a stove, but it's only so close you can go to it without getting burnt. They're going to be able to discern how far they can go by the teaching of their parents. And that's just an example. That's how we do with our teenagers. But when you have other people dealing with your children while you're trying to deal with them, then that brings the children to be confused, because they got to be with you, but then they begin to compare you with that person. And they wish that you were that person. Children are like that. And so they want to be over here, but their heart's over here. And the reason why they are so frustrated, because they're confused. Yeah, you got some parent or some person just giving, but their heart is with you. But they want to be with this person because they get everything they want. They feel like their flesh is being fulfilled. Every time they desire something, they get it. So they want to be close to what they get all the time, but their heart is over here with their mama. So now they're frustrated, and they don't know how to deal with frustration. They don't even know what frustration is, so they start acting out at the unknown. They lose confidence in you because you're not giving into that flesh part that seems so powerful. And so they began to fight the atmosphere, and sometimes you get hit in that war of figuring out what's right and what's wrong, all because somebody else wanted to come over into your house. Now that's another type of fight that we ran off to, but the main fight we want to deal with is the fight in our own home. Sometimes in our own home there's a fight for power. There's a struggle for power. This is where the wisdom falls in at. A lot of times we're not married to a real man, as we say. And he's a real man because that's what God created him to be. He's just not the man we want him to be. And sometimes as women, we want to mold an adult. And sometimes there are brothers that want to mold an adult. We want them to be somebody we want them to be. Not understanding their character has already been built. That's where we mess up at. Understand me. My foundation, my heart is here. His foundation, his heart is here. So when you come over here and you trying to build another foundation, that's where the confusion is, because the house don't know how you going to move the house. You want to just totally work with the foundation, and you can't. You got to begin to allow the house to mold itself. You can change the color of the house. You can do whatever you want to do to the house, but if the foundation is good, the foundation is good. Now, there are times there are some cracks in the foundation. A lot of times, if that foundation is cracked, it's wounded. You got to be skilled when dealing with that foundation, because it will cause chaos in your home, and that's male or female. Sometimes women, we marry, again, men who was never taught to be husband. They don't know how to be around others, first of all. They don't know how to take care of bills. A lot of men, they just used to take care of themselves. There are some men that used to mama being around, and there's some of them that's freestyling through life, whatever comes. And here you are coming in his life, and you want to plan his destiny, what to do tomorrow. He don't know what to do tomorrow because he just lived. When tomorrow come, I'll wake up and start walking in it. And here you are saying, okay, we got to go to the grocery store today. You know, I ain't getting out of bed. I'm tired. I had to work yesterday. And so y'all got an argument because you're saying we need to get some groceries in the house. You're seeing the need to go out and do the things that needs to be done, where he's saying, look, it's going to get done, baby. Don't rush me. I'm going to do it. Just cool down. And you're saying, you know what? I need to do it now because I got something else planned for us after we do that. And he's not with that, you know. And you can think you're doing good. I'm just trying to help, honey. You know, when the argument get all heated up and you scream out to him,